I'll be back. All right, here we are. We're at the end of the night. Here we are with the senior band, the most patient of all. So we're going to play you a bunch of the pieces that we did over at the Whistler Festival, and some 70s rock. So this piece is called Windjammer. This is one of my favorite pieces for concert band. It's if you've never heard of a windjammer, they were the largest sailing ships ever made. They were absolutely colossal, and they could just whip it across the ocean. They were not warships or anything; they were merchant ships, but they had so many sails. That's why they called them windjammer. So big and so many sails that they would colloquially say that they would, stop the wind. And the person who wrote this, he lives here in BC. He lives in Vancouver, and when he first immigrated to BC from London, I think, one of the first things he did is he was taken on a kind of cruise on a historical windjammer that I'm not sure which port they have it out of, but they have still one in service, and they went up all along Haida Gwaii and all through the inlets all along our coast, and it was his first real view of our beautiful province. And if any of you have ever been out on the ocean, especially when it's like calm, right, all along our forested coast, it's like sailing on a sheet of glass. It's absolutely beautiful, and sound waves will carry across that flat ocean water, and it will just bounce off of all of the rocky little islands and inlets, and it'll create this amazing echo sequence. And so that's what is actually represented as part of this piece with our trumpet section. So this is like a voyage upon a ship on the open Pacific and sailing through the little inlets of like Haida Gwaii. Oh dear. You guys are too big. You're gonna be like grade 7 size. And then get you back on. Where do I go? Let's reach the next concert. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hit you. Come over. All right, this next piece is called Korean Folk Rhapsody. Whoop. Opa. And whoa. Whatever, spatial awareness is optional. Yes, this is called Korean Folk Rhapsody, and it's based off of a very specific Korean folk song. It's probably, I'm not Korean, but as far as I know, it's probably the most famous of their folk music. It's a melody called Ariran. And it's going to feature melodies from everything. So this is our Korean Folk Rhapsody. Thank you. All right, we have two more. This one is, I hope you like 70s music. This is just a medley of a lot of the big featured tunes from Guardians of the Galaxy, plus the Marvel theme, the best version of it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Back there, drummer girl. Oh, I'm never conducting like this again. It's just like holding my hands up high. 1, 2, and 1, 2.
We finally come to our last piece of the entire evening. Thank you all for being so patient. It's a long concert. I would start these things earlier, but I know there's so many soccer games and people are still at work. Also, this is the part where I get to make some of my grade 12s cry, because this is the last song they're ever going to play in my band program. It's only fair because I was already holding back tears tonight. This last piece is called Amparito Roca. It is a Spanish march. A lot of different countries have different marches. Their militaries all do things differently. Spain really likes to march fast. This type of march, they call it a paso doble, which means like double step, because they march real quick. I guess they just feel like they have to get places really quickly. Anyways, this is our very spicy march.
The Checker salute!
Great time. You got me off guard. Almost fell backwards. Okay. We don't want the audience to riot. It's really hot. Great. I'm going to do that one more time. It's your last time for me.
fantastic. And now we get to have the shortest cleanup time of a concert we've ever had. That is what we get for playing on this stage. So, thank you all so much for your patience, for sticking out in this gym. Oh my God.